They offer comprehensive medical, dental, pharmacy, and behavioral health services tailored to meet each patient's needs. Their team is committed to helping individuals and families live their healthiest lives. For more information or to schedule an appointment, you can call 509-935-6004. New Health, bringing healthcare into communities and communities into healthcare since 1978. And by Fired Up Pizza. Fired Up Pizza, located at 206 East Main Avenue in downtown Chewelah, offers craft beverages and brick oven fired pizza, including a variety of sandwiches, salads, pasta, and homemade soups. Featuring weekly events such as bingo, karaoke, and live music. Fired Up Pizza also has space for your private event and offers both in-house and off-site catering services. Open daily at 11:30 a.m. for lunch and dinner. For more information, visit their Facebook page or contact Fired Up Pizza at 509-936-9121. Fired Up Pizza is a proud supporter of public radio in Stevens County.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And by Chewelah Flooring.
Chewelah Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chewelah Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at CheWelahFlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at CheWelahFlooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the KCHW Morning Show. It is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. We are here with myself, Chuck Ritchie, and we have the ever-lovely Gina Greenwood now joining us on Thursdays.
Baroo.
Good morning, Gina.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty awesome.
You are pretty awesome.
I feel pretty good.
Thank you so much for coming. You are now going to be our new Thursday morning co-host.
Oh, my goodness.
You're going to be here, and we'll let you out every Thursday so you can come talk on the radio.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Outstanding.
Thursdays.
Outstanding. So what we're going to start focusing on these Thursdays, we have you in here today. We're going to go through our normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit about things going on over the summer with you, the Friday market.
Yes.
Some stuff with the kids in the community. And then as we move on further, we're going to start getting guests, people in from the school districts, maybe even get some folks from some of the other school districts, Kettle
Yes.
Falls through Deer
Wonderful.
Park.
Love it.
Yeah, figure out what they're doing in the schools, what the kids are up to, and maybe doing some cool art things with some local kids here. Maybe even hopefully we'll get some kids on the air. Well, not hopefully, we will get some kids on the air.
Definitely.
Of course, with parental permission and all that. But
Just some inspiration for our youth to reach out to them and let them speak their minds and from their hearts and what they're interested in their life. And again, inspiration's like really big for me.
Yeah.
For our youth, for everyone, for the child inside each of us. So let's get inspired.
Can we just all sit back and just let Gina talk about kids for a minute and inspiration and beautiful stuff?
Well, but when you look into the eyes of a child, there's just a sacred soul that is shining bright. And what happens a lot of times as we grow and as we get influenced by different things in our world, that I love the light in the hearts. And right now, children, I think, need a lot more of creativity, a lot more ability to express their soul. And of course, lots of kids that are in, theater and the arts and think that they have that blessing. But maybe we could like also inspire those kids to reach out to others to lend a hand that maybe that those children aren't exposed to that type of environment. And I really inspire, I'd like to have people volunteer. I'd like to really reach out to our youth to be volunteering, whatever their passion is. It could be the market, it could be coming here and help whatever you may need for when you do your shows. And I know Chihuahua's Got Talent's coming up.
Yes,
Just
it
different
is.
things. We need people to help the market for sure. And then also like, the rescue shelters, go to the food bank, something, find something. I think every human being should volunteer, give back to
like
their
that. community.
I really believe strongly in that. And sometimes with the technology that is happening, it's like screen, phone,
Yep.
phone. I mean, I just see people walking down the street, they're looking down at their phone. And I'm just like, okay, crossing the street with their head down, I'm like, whoa, okay, people, let's look up. Let's look at the trees.
Right.
Let's look at the birds. Let's listen to nature,
Absolutely. We can also use it as a tool to get those people and get them to all meet together and then put our phones down.
Well, right. And we could all jump in the creek. That'd be cool. Put the phones in the basket and then do a polar plunge.
Ooh, I like it.
I've done it many times.
Nice. have you done the actual in the ice polar plunge?
Not in the ice, but pretty darn chilly. I mean, like where we had to have a fire to when we plunged in and then we got out. It was, it was not the deep part of the winter, but it was definitely not summer or spring. It was like cold. But I'm a mermaid and I acclimate. I tell people, just stay in and move around. And you just get used to it. And it's true. You just have to stay in long enough.
Yeah.
I absolutely know it's true because I do that. You have to plunge in. You don't tiptoe in ever.
Right.
Ever. Not even at Browns Lake. You just got to go.
Because then the adrenaline gets
Well, you got
going
half
and-
cold, half warm. It's not, just go.
Get in there.
Just get in.
And that's actually a pretty great analogy for what we're discussing about the kids and getting involved in the community. Just
Just
dive
plunge in and just try, whatever your passion is, then start there. And then you'll meet new people. Then your universe opens up to different avenues.
And I know we talked about this before the show too, about volunteerism and getting kids involved and stuff. One thing people see is there are people in our community that do volunteer stuff and it is their life. They do it 24/7.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of other people maybe wanting to help out a little bit, you don't have to do that. Just an hour here
Exactly.
and there.
You don't have
Go to the Friday market.
Exactly. It's wonderful. We have
Yep.
many volunteers that, again, like you said, donate their time and life, and they're passionate about just donating. That's wonderful. We need those people.
Yeah.
But energetically, we also need just to inspire people to, like you said, a small time, 1 hour. Start with one, maybe two, and then just go from there.
Our dear friend Jeff Newman, who we lost a few years ago, he started out here. Scott used to tell the story all the time.
Oh.
He walked in. He said, "Hey, do you need someone like once a week? Maybe I can come in. I can vacuum the floor. I can
Right.
take out the trash."
Perfect.
And before you know it, he became one of Chihuahua's favorite voices.
Isn't that
on the air
wonderful?
here.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's exactly that is the perfect
Yeah.
story. That my heart, I got chills. That's
Aw.
the perfect story about what
Yeah.
we're speaking of.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, Jeff was a fun story too because he has this very distinctive voice. He kind of had this old like rock star sort of persona, but in a beautiful, beautiful soul.
Oh.
And he was so. And these are all stories I'm getting from Scott. I mean,
Right.
I knew Jeff, but not when he first
These are
came to the
in-depth
station.
stories.
He was really kind of shy about his voice. He hated his voice. He's like, I got this weird, funky voice. Nobody wants to listen to me. I love radio, but I don't have a radio voice. I just want it clean.
Yeah,
and Scott, I listened to him talking. He's like, of course you have a radio voice. Listen to
Exactly.
yourself.
Listen to
You're
yourself.
beautiful.
Wonderful.
So he put him
and
on
the
the
people
air.
loved his voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he had a great voice.
That's
we still have one or two things running on the air that still have his voice on there, but we're trying to.
You'll have
try-
to play
trying
it for me
trying
so
to
I can
preserve that.
I can bring back the remembrance.
Oh yeah, one of them is Harthill sponsorship announcement.
Oh,
We still have
okay.
Jeff's voice. I think it's the last thing we have running,
Awesome.
but unfortunately, that information is no longer accurate. We've kept him on as long as we can.
And now there's
Yeah,
yeah.
they've contacted me and they're like, "Oh, we hate to put Jeff's voice off the air, but we don't sell those products anymore."
Right. Well, in the spirit world, he's
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with the show. And again, thank you so much for joining us, Gina. That was a lovely introduction to you. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so we're going to get into the weather here. Today, we've got a high of 60 degrees. We're going to have some rain early on in the day. There may be some cloudy skies later in the afternoon. 41 degrees overnight with clear skies. Then tomorrow, a high of 69 degrees, 45 for the overnight low with partly cloudy skies. Should be a nice day again for the market. Last week was kind of cold and rainy. We were out there. I had to put sidewalls on the tent because I had my sound equipment out there and it was getting all rained
a
on.
little misty.
And I can't believe it's Friday again already tomorrow.
I know, and tomorrow is I'm going to be there first
I
Friday
know.
because of school's out.
Yes.
Tomorrow, no school. Monday too, but
We're going to be talking quite a bit about that later.
Yes,
and what you're
indeed.
going to be doing up there
Yeah,
for the
for sure.
Up there. I guess it is up
it's
there.
right.
Up the
Yeah,
highway.
up and yonder way,
Yeah.
along the flow of the creek.
Yeah. Upstream. It is. It's upstream from here. Yeah, and then 45 degrees overnight. There is a 19% chance of rain. Let's see. Yeah, there's a 19% chance of rain, but it doesn't tell me here on the forecast what part of the day we might be expecting that. But I'm gonna hope we don't. Yeah.
Well, the earth needs rain, but
It
let's
does.
just be
It does.
gentle. A little,
Maybe just not
a
during
little
the,
sprinkle.
Maybe not during the window that the market's open.
Right. Let's ask
In that corner of the park. Everywhere else is fine. All right, then Saturday, it's actually going to dry off quite a bit with a high of 77 degrees, warming up, 48 degrees overnight. Then on Sunday, getting really warm, 83 degrees for the high, 55 overnight with mostly sunny skies. Then on Monday, 77 and 52, 83 and 85, or 53 rather, on Tuesday with a 3% chance of rain. Wednesday of next week, 85 for our high, then 58 overnight with mostly sunny skies. So we're getting a little bit of rain, maybe today, maybe just a touch tomorrow, and then it's going to be drying up and getting warmer for what looks like the rest of the month. All right, and then as we move along, the kids will be out of school tomorrow, but today they're still in. For breakfast today, the kids have their option of French toast sticks with syrup, fruit breakfast parfait and granola with fruit or juice, or a variety of cereal with cheese sticks or yogurt or fruit or juice. And then we have a bread or muffin with a cheese stick or yogurt and fruit or juice. And that's more like a continental style breakfast. I think they just sort of get their choice of.
That's good.
of what
We
they
like
have.
choices.
Yeah,
Let's have some choices.
right.
Love
And then for lunch today, it is the Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes, fruit, and veggie. Everyone's favorite, that frozen Salisbury steak.
Oh yeah. Especially when it's still from
That's one of those.
I'm not looking at yours.
Oh no, that's okay.
You know that. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like my wife will get a craving, and she'll be like, "You know what I want for dinner?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You know what? TV dinner, Salisbury steak." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Okay, we can do that.
Like once a year, she's like, "I really want that old from
Right.
childhood." Yeah.
Meatloaf is a one too that you get some. I mean, sometimes you get a craving
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
with mashed potatoes and a bunch of gravy.
We use my mom's or my mom. Oh geez, don't tell my wife I just said that. We use my wife's grandmother's meatloaf recipe.
Oh, I'd love that.
and it is from sort of the Depression era. It's mostly oatmeal actually.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Yep,
And,
indeed. Milk. You put a little milk in there.
Oh yeah.
Rosemary. I'm big on herbs and things,
yeah.
and then I mix, local beef, of course, and then local pork. I put a little bit to
I
add
like
to
that.
it,
Yeah.
and an egg, and you just, that magic of the oatmeal with the egg and a little milk is ironic, and then
Oh yeah.
ketchup, and then I like slide it down the center with my hands, like make like a oval shape, and then go like a little tunnel.
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
little, and then a groove, and then you put like ketchup in there,
Nice.
and drizzle it over the side like a little design.
I like the way it gets almost that like leather on top.
Yeah, that's what I like. The little crunch, anyhow.
You know a little tip. We use the chili sauce. The red chili. It's very similar to ketchup, only it has a little bit
I
of
love
something
that
extra in
chili
there.
Sauce.
Yeah, we use that on top.
Yum.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That recipe though.
I'm gonna make some tonight now that we're
That
talking
sounds
about.
good. Her grandma's recipe though, it's not like your typical. It doesn't slice. You spoon it. Good. It's very. I'm not going to use the M word on the air, but it's very wet.
Okay.
Yeah, moist.
Right.
A lot of people don't like that word. It's one of those words. It's like a trigger word. People hear it and they're like, it makes them shiver. Sorry, everybody. I said it on the air. It's good stuff.
That is funny.
Yeah. Sorry. Now we're on our. We do that a lot here, by the way.
What?
Get into talk about random things, and then we
yeah.
start sharing recipes.
Oh, good.
It's a
I love to cook.
It's a common thing over here. We're always
Yeah.
talking about food.
Yes, dude.
Maybe it's because it's early.
I love food.
Oh.
I guess a foodie. Is that what they say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
you
to make
gotta
food.
be.
I like fresh. I love fresh. I mean, ironically, we just talked about meatloaf, which, still local beef, local everything, if you can. But no, fresh is best. That's why, just fresh. I do appreciate it very much.
Oh, absolutely.
I've always eaten really well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I could use advice. I find I get in a hurry a lot, and I end up just grabbing whatever's in front of me as I happen to whiz by, and sometimes that's not always good. I think I had Pringles for breakfast today.
Well, the trick I've told a lot of people, just got to, prep things, and then
Yeah.
you have a little cooler. I travel around with my food. I just do. My friends know what I'm talking about, and because I always just want to have something as healthy. I'm not saying I don't, eat junk. Sometimes I do, but mostly but it takes a little prep work,
Yeah.
just like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree. The problem is sitting down and actually getting yourself to do that.
put on
prep
some
work.
music, Chuck.
I need to do
and
that.
dance your little booty around and chop the veggies and get yourself together with a little cooler.
I need to do that. I like that idea though.
Super fun. I put music. I blast the music when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
cooking.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with some of our events today. We got a lot of stuff going on over the next week or so.
I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All kinds of stuff. We're going to go out till the end of next weekend, actually. So we'll take a pretty good look at what we have coming up. Today, the food bank, the Chihuahua Food Bank, is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Coming on later today, this is a very great thing for the community. We have the Tasty Food Program fundraiser. That's going to be. Are you familiar with the Tasty program?
Please remind me. I've heard that. I'm sure I'm.
This is sponsored by the Chihuahua Faith Resource Group.
Okay.
And it is, Tasty is an acronym, but I don't have the acronym in front of me, and I don't remember exactly what it is. But basically, there are a lot of kids in schools that some of them, the only meals they get are in school.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
school year ends, and a lot of times those families kind of struggle with food for the kids. And the Tasty program, their goal is to sort of make up that difference once that school year ends. So the school year ends, the Tasty program starts, and they do basically weekly drop-offs they have different pickup locations.
Okay.
Sort of like a what's that program when there's a name for the program when farms do the drop-offs.
Let's see. I know what you mean. It's where they prepay the
Yeah.
farmer.
Yeah.
It's not. It's escaping
There's
my
a
mind.
name for it.
I know.
Maybe-
But it's different than the free meals in the park. This is totally different. It's drop off where families can come
Yeah.
that pick up.
Yeah, and
Right.
there's locations everywhere. I believe the applications for it to apply for the program are at all the food banks in the region.
That is good to
so
know.
I think from Kettle Falls to Deer Park, there's applications to apply for the Tasty
And-
program.
Speaking of this,
Yeah.
I found out because I do caregiving. My client last year received, different than your EBT card, where you can go to the farmer's market, you get double. People don't realize you get coupons, but then there's these little wooden tokens too. This is different. It's called through Rural Resources. It's a senior nutrition program.
Okay.
You apply for it. You can call Rural Resources. You get $84 somewhere around that amount for the season for fresh food at the markets.
Very cool.
Yeah. And
Nice.
I think it's interchangeable to the farmer's market, but of course come to Chihuahua. But
Yeah.
yeah, so all you do is, it's a simple form. You just have to be a certain, lower income, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But it's wonderful. It's like a little, like a debit card, has fresh veggies on it. But you just go
Nice.
and you can just buy fresh food. And I thought that was a wonderful program. So it's a senior nutrition program through Rural Resources.
That is great, and you can apply through that through.
Yeah, you
Rural
just
Resources?
call. And it's just a simple form. And I made copies for my friends because
Very
he had
cool.
one. And so I'd been passing them around.
Nice. I always have a hard time saying rural.
I know, it kinda
rural
is a
resources.
rural
Rural resources. Kind of sound like I've been drinking. All right,
Coffee.
so yeah, that Tasty fundraiser is going to be at the Courtside Brewery tonight
Oh.
from 4 to 7 p.m.
Okay, so how do we, when we donate money, tell me more about that, or to us, all of us listening.
I don't have a lot of information about
But it's happening.
them, but yeah, it's happening tonight from 4 to 7
4
at
to
the
7.
Courtside Brewery.
Okay.
They do have the ability to accept donations. You can, if you show up at the brewery tonight, they'll have all that information for
Right,
you.
I think that's wonderful.
From 4 to 7.
That's that's wonderful.
It is, and this is we spent a lot of time on it last year. We kind of missed it until a few days ago this year. But we really want to keep talking about this tasty program throughout the summer because it really
Absolutely.
does help hundreds of families
Right.
in the area.
That's
so.
one, and I'm a good promoter too. Once
Yeah.
I know more about it, I can just spread the word person to person as
Perfect.
well. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, that's an important one. And then tonight at the drive-in movie theater in Kettle Falls.
The drive-in.
At the drive-in movie theater.
We are so blessed to have a drive-in.
Aren't we?
We only have there's only what in the United States, only a couple, 3, 4. What do you know the
There's
facts
more
on
than that. We have,
but not many.
We have 5 in Washington State.
Okay, 5 in Washington.
I think there's about a couple hundred in the United States.
But
I'm
so
not sure.
fortunate that we have one right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, I mean, outside of Colville, but what are they playing?
I consider it close by. It is the Pacific Northwest Film Festival.
At the drive-in
At the drive-in theater, and that is full of local
Tonight on a
films.
Thursday night.
Tonight on a Thursday night at the drive-in movie theater.
Wow.
And Joe Wilczynski is going to be back from Belize.
Okay.
To be there for the film festival.
I really care about him. Yeah.
Joe is a wonderful human being.
He's wonderful.
Isn't he?
He filmed, he filmed several things, the market that we started years ago, and just, programs that we've done. And just, he has a sweet little twist to things. And now it's evolved to, you can just see that's a man that has passion.
He does. The first time I met him, he was doing a Pecha Kucha.
Yes.
At a brewery. And I'm like, who is this crazy guy that's taking VHS and making murals out of him? I love this guy. I have to meet him.
I know.
And I met him, and within our first conversation, he's like, yeah, I'm going to do a tour of the drive-in theaters in Washington. Come on with me. It'll be a 2-week trip in the car. Let's go.
That's great. And did you jump in?
We didn't. It never ended up happening. But I think he might have done it during COVID with somebody else. But,
yeah, that's a fun
but
idea.
We've got to be good friends, and now I consider him like family.
Awesome. So you'll be at the drive-in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And 2 of the films that we were in together are going to be shown at the drive-in.
So at dusk, right?
Yeah, at dusk.
Okay.
At dusk. We've actually...
And is there a donation fee to get in there?
You can donate. I'm not sure how they're working the donations, but it is free for the public. Yeah.
That's
it's
wonderful.
It's free to
Wow.
get in, and the concession stand will be open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's every year. It's super fun, and this
That's
year
wonderful.
I have word on high. That a lot of times you go to these film festivals and you see all kinds of variety of things, and I love them all. I really do.
Yes, of course.
You
honor creativity, diversity.
The word bad or worst, I don't think exists to this because it's not. None of it's bad, and the work it takes to produce.
And someone did it from their heart and their vision, and it's always good, regardless of
I have word that these films tonight are all actually really high quality. They're all amazing.
Excellent. That's excellent.
So the Joe and Kat that are putting this on are very excited this year. They're saying this is going to be the best year ever.
Oh, that's so fun.
Very excited
to know. That is exciting.
Yeah, and I love a good local film festival,
Absolutely.
especially after being in them, and you can tell where the love comes in, and you can see
absolutely.
no matter what it is, it takes a lot of work.
Do you go to the Spliff one in Spokane?
I have, but not this. I
haven't gone recently, but that's wonderful too. The Spokane Film. But we got our local tonight. I'm probably going to go.
And this weekend I can't go because it's during Chihuahua's Got Talent, but it's the 50-hour slam premiere at the Bing.
What?
At the Bing Crosby Theater. Yeah.
Saturday, the same time as Chihuahua's Got Talent.
Chihuahua's Got Talent. Which I just found out
gotta
yesterday.
we
My
got
cameraman didn't know they were on the same night either for tonight, and he's like, my films are showing at the 50-hour slam. I got to be there.
Right.
Yeah. So
Oh, well.
we'll figure that out.
It'll unfold.
Oh, yeah. All right. Then we have Craigmire Karaoke. They're going to be at the Oasis, I believe, from 8:30 till closing. Let's see, 8:30 to 11:30 it says. And then tomorrow morning, the Chihuahua Chamber of Commerce meeting is at the Mississauga Casino from 7 to 8 a.m. Go there. You don't want to miss all the excitement of that. Get your coffee. There's snacks. And then of course, Chihuahua Farmers Market is happening. I got to back up. The award-winning Chihuahua Farmers Market is happening from 11 to 3:30.
Correct.
And we're going to talk more about that and get into some more detail about what you're going.
Yes.
Talk about the Kernel program.
The Kernel program.
I know you've got more information about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you do great work there every year. But again, we're going to talk. I want to talk. I'm really holding myself back from diving into that because I want to talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
All right. Then Saturday morning at the golf course from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. rather. They say 11 a.m. PDT. I got confused.
I should be taking notes about all this stuff going on. I got my pencil right
know, right?
here.
Well,
What's happening at the golf course?
This is the Drive and Drop Pickleball Clinic.
Drive and drop.
Drive and drop pickleball clinic.
Wow.
I'm not sure what drive and drop.
I don't either, but I like the sound of it.
Right? It makes it.
I was just thinking about pickleball. I have never played pickleball. I know that might seem crazy because it's a craze. Have you?
I never have either.
Nor have I. But lots of people play it that I know.
I've held the rackets in my hand.
I've never even. I just know it's a rager right now. People are loving it.
It is actually the fastest. I believe it is the fastest growing sport in the world right now.
I do believe it is. I feel it is.
And we had some folks on last Wednesday, not yesterday, but the last week.
Yeah.
With the local pickleball group. There's about 300 people in our Stevens
and where's
County
the pickleball
group.
court here?
It is up at the golf course. It's
Okay.
243 Par Place.
Of course, it's at the golf course. That's
Yeah.
why the drop and what's it called?
The drive and drop pickleball
Drive and
clinic.
drop.
Yeah, so these are you're going to learn basic skills. There is a registration required. They're going to keep the class sizes low, I believe. This is the outside pickleball courts at the Golf and Country Club. This is from 9 a.m. to 11. Let's see. Dress appropriately for the weather. Bring your court shoes, your paddle, some water, your clinic fee, they remind you, and a good attitude.
Good attitude is absolutely imperative.
Exactly. And they do have some paddles and stuff to borrow if you don't have your own, because I guess it does get kind of spendy, some of the higher end stuff, and
Like anything, huh?
especially up there, like golf. That's one reason I don't golf. I can't afford the club.
I got a set you can have.
Oh, really?
Do you like to? Do you want to try? Do you want to learn?
I've done a little bit. I worked at the golf.
No,
course
I am
for a
not
couple
even
years.
kidding you. I will let you, if receiving is a little hard. Are you a good receiver?
Sometimes.
Well, okay, you can borrow them then.
Okay,
you can
okay,
borrow them.
okay.
See get your little swing figured out.
I keep having people say, "Hey, Chuck, come golf with me this weekend." I'm like,
Well, we're gonna fix that.
I did get a par once on a hole, so I was pretty pleased with myself there. And it was one of the few times I actually managed to hit the ball. But yeah, I usually hit the dirt or something beside the ball.
Right.
Or the ball goes behind me. I've had that happen before. Yeah. So Lee Dunbar is going to be the instructor for this pickleball course. Let's see. He's been a pickleball player for years. He was actually on with us last week. He's very serious about his pickleball. But at the same time,
That's a good thing when you got a serious
yeah.
instructor.
Oh yeah, but
you
at the
know?
same time, he wants people to know that it is fun.
We gotta have fun. We gotta have fun.
You don't have to be a serious athlete.
No.
Yeah,
That's why I think it's also a growing,
it is.
just a real movement, because I feel that in my
Yeah.
heart that you don't have to be smaller courts. I mean, I don't know exactly, but it's more. You don't have to really. I mean, you can get good as far as that, but you can just explore it, right?
Yeah.
Explore it and
It's-
see how it feels and go from there.
It's a little slower pace. They're less prone to injuries, so it's great, especially for kids and seniors.
Right. Okay.
And it's not even just seniors. It's really picking up with the younger kids
The younger
too.
kids too. Good.
And they're
That's
really
awesome.
getting into it. And again, I do love that it's something that kids can do. You don't need to be like the
Super
like the high school
competitive, you mean?
quarterback.
Right,
You
you
don't
know,
have to be
yeah.
super athletic to
Or
play this.
yeah.
And get really good
And
at
get
it.
good.
So yeah,
Get some
yeah.
exercise. Get some exercise.
All right, so that's happening at the golf course from 9:30 to 1. Then the Colville Valley Animal Sanctuary is having their drive-through vaccination clinic from 9:30 to 1 p.m. Another great thing, very low cost.
They are
spay and
great.
neuters.
That's a great organization. My friends volunteer every Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful.
And it's one of those.
They need volunteers too.
They do.
And being around animals is so good for the soul.
It is. It is. It truly, truly is. Come to my house. It's like a petting zoo. We don't have guinea pigs or turtles anymore, but we got just about everything else.
Aw.
Yeah, no, not true. We just have cats and dogs, but
But we
Probably
love
two
our
of them.
fur friends.
yeah, we do. They're my babies.
They're family.
They
They
really
are our family.
They are.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
especially if you saw my medical bills for one of my dogs in
Oh.
the last couple of months, he had to have surgery on his middle ear. He had a staph infection behind the ear that needed operation, and
Ooh, baby.
Thank you, father-in-law, for the help with that one.
Yes, I've heard that story. It's touching. Very
wouldn't-
touching.
And he is doing so well.
I know. I asked you about him.
I've talked
What's his
about-
name? What's your dog's
His name is Bo.
Bo. I asked about Bo, and I was so happy that you said he was doing so much better.
He is a different dog now.
That's so
completely,
great.
His personality has changed in
It's
a matter of weeks. Yeah,
wonderful.
he's amazing. He's a good boy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now we're talking about my dog on the air. I love it. All right, then we've got, let's see, the Cabin Fever. Oh, yes, of course.
Cabin Fever.
The Cabin Fever 23rd, the Cabin Fever Quilt Guild 23rd Annual Chihuahua Quilt Show.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that on Friday. That is happening from 1 p.m.
At
to
the
6
high
p.m.
school, I heard.
Yeah, at the high school. Now, this
is Chihuahua Arts Guild. They promote this.
It is, yeah, it is.
And the quilters. And
the Cabin Fever Quilt
Cabin
Guild.
That's what their name is.
Yeah,
Cabin Fever.
yeah.
I love that. Cabin Fever.
If you've never gone to one of these quilt shows before,
Oh, my goodness.
these ain't your grandma's quilts.
No, they're gorgeous.
These are
They're
works of art.
And labor of love.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Some of them they're
hands-
sculptural.
they're incredible.
3D.
Yes, and the fabrics and the designs, and absolutely.
Just the variety of fabrics that you would never even consider going in a quilt.
So that's exciting.
I'm a big fan of quilts anyway. You come to our house, we have stacks and stacks of quilts, and we inherited a bunch when my mother-in-law
Yes.
passed away. 50, 60 years of a quilt-making family. We've got...
So incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we did the Earth Day Fair at the Lutheran Church?
Yeah.
Karen took me up to the sanctuary, and I was so moved. Their group of women, men too, I'm sure. Every pew was draped, all of them with these quilts that they are then going to gift, and they gift them out to people in need. I don't know how they outreach to those, but can you imagine seeing a whole all just draped? It was
yeah.
beautiful. I said, wow, I would just keep the quilts for next round.
Yeah.
Show them more often like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because a pew and you lay the quilt over, you can. It's just, I don't know. It's just amazing, a visual.
Oh,
Everyone
was it a whole room of
the
roof full?
whole sanctuary, every pew had a beautiful handmade quilt. I get chills.
Wow.
I said, Karen, make sure people know. We announced it when she and I were here, right?
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. Are they?
Touching.
And they're not there anymore.
They're gifted out.
Oh, good,
I don't know if
good.
they're all gifted out. We'd have to check in with her about that. But it was just a remarkable, visual, amazing, heartfelt energy because I know what it goes into, and those women volunteer to make these quilts, and they gift them to people in need. It was very touching.
Well, and just
And beautiful. I love quilts too.
the history behind quilting. It's a way to take what you have and turn it into something beautiful,
Repurpose
and
that
functional.
fabric. Yep.
And if you're not a quilt user, they're the magic of the quilt. They're
And then when
cool in the
you
summer.
and then people's hearts
Yeah.
and what went into it. It's like you have
Oh,
a
yeah.
little arms around you or something. Like you feel the energy.
I need to get together with these quilt folks because we have the top of a quilt that was started in the 1920s that was never finished, and it is made out of flour sacks. It's the old original.
Why don't you
flour
bring
sack.
it down to the high school and let people just have them take a look at it? Just
We
say here.
should, yeah.
You should.
It
I
was-
don't like the word should. It would
Right.
be awesome if you did.
It would be.
Yeah.
It was my.
Because then people could see it, feel it, and have it. They can get a little table, maybe bring like a card table or something, and just lay it over the card table, and then people, you'll explain, and they'll know.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, especially it's happening on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Or just Friday.
yeah.
Is it all weekend?
It is.
At the
It
high
is.
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Friday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're getting.
I know,
off
but
it,
we're having
I
fun.
love it. And
We're having fun.
Quilts to me, like I said, they're special. They have a special place in my heart.
Oh,
and
that's
my mom
beautiful.
makes us quilts occasionally. Sends them to us for Christmas. And
Yes.
we've got this old one that my grandma made in the 70s. That's made out of the brightest color corduroy you have ever seen, and it weighs about 80 pounds.
Love it.
It is. You'd hardly pick the thing up. It is amazing.
It's incredible.
I love it.
So the hours are
Okay.
Friday.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write
Friday.
the hours
Friday
down.
from 1 to 6 p.m.
1 to 6.
And then on Saturday from 6 to... Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I was reading Chivalry's Got Talent. Saturday, it is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
10 to 4. Okay.
And this is at the high school.
High school.
Yep.
Chihuahua High School.
And then what you can do after you're done with that...
Jenkins High School.
Jenkins High School.
Yep.
Yep.
What Sunday is not? It's happening Sunday as well.
No.
Just
No,
okay.
Friday, Saturday.
That's good to know, everybody.
Friday from 1 to 6.
Friday 1 to 6.
Gina's over there taking notes.
Saturday 10 to 4.
Saturday 10 to 4. Yep. And that's at Jenkins High School at 702 East Lincoln Avenue. And seriously, I mean, I know I'm gushing about this, but I love going to the quilt show because
I
it
love
is
it.
unreal.
I
the
really-
things people do.
I know.
You wouldn't even imagine that could be done.
Absolutely, it's
fabric.
beautiful. Bring that flower set, the one from that era that you're talking about.
Well,
just the top.
unfortunately, I'm going to be getting ready for Chihuahua's Got Talent
Oh,
because I'm not going to have time. Well, and I'm
Okay.
going to be at the market tomorrow during the day.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, right? With you.
We got things to go. We got
do.
things to do.
But you do have plenty of time to get to the quilt show tomorrow. And then once the quilt show is over, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts, it's Chihuahua's Got Talent 7. And I am super excited about this one. This
This
happening
is Saturday.
Saturday, yep. From 6 to 8 p.m. The doors open at 5:30.
Okay.
This is our 7th. It's not our 7th year of Chihuahua's Got Talent, but it is our 7th show because there was about 4 years we missed during COVID.
Okay.
Brought it back when I started here last year. Last year was the first year back since 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
7's my favorite number. What's yours?
I think it might be 7. I remember as
Oh my
a kid,
gosh, and here we are.
as a kid, I
7.
don't
It's
know
my
why
fave. It's
I
my
wrote
fave.
7 all over I still have old notebooks from like
My favorite number.
yeah, I would write them all over my notebooks, and I don't know why. I just
I
wrote
mean, I like
7 on
angel
everything.
numbers that repeat 11 and 22, and you see that on your. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good sign, by the way, when you see the repeat numbers. But
Is it?
yes. Did you not know that?
So this is going to be a good year then. Well, I already know it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 11 contestants this time.
See, 11, angel
you
number.
go.
I'm telling you, I just got chills. It's true.
See?
Double numbers, 11s, 22s, 33. You can, Google. I don't whatever.
And there's a reason we were going for 10 contestants, and
11
we
is
just
magic.
were like,
No.
what? We just have to do 11 this
11's
year.
the number.
Oh,
7's
man.
our fave, and
See?
11 is really magic. So
See,
there you go.
it is going to be a magic show. We actually have a magician performing.
You know what?
What?
I met that young man, and we'll talk about, I don't know his name at the top of my head, but at Summit Valley. Because
Oh, okay.
I went there for arts and school. We can talk about that. But he's going to do the magic.
Yeah.
He's the guy. I met him.
Yeah, tall,
Tall,
glasses.
dark. Yes.
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 Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful
You know-
person. I met him, and I go, do you know Eric Stevens from Chihuahua? Because our
yeah.
famous Eric.
Oh, yeah.
I know. And I just kind of told him a little bit about beautiful Eric. And anyhow, I met him at the school.
And this kid, he has
And I love that you have a magician.
this very subtle humor. He's very calm. His demeanor is like just kind of laid back and chill. But then he'll tell a joke, and it's like, and it just cracks you up.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to have
What
him.
time does it start again?
It starts at 6 p.m. Doors
6,
open
and
at
then-
5:30.
And the entry fee?
It's
admission?
$20 for
Okay,
tickets.
got it.
You can get those tickets online at kchw.org. You can go to our KCHW Facebook page.
Can we go to the door also?
You can get tickets at the door.
Okay.
There's also tickets available at Valley Drug Company or Acres United Drug.
Okay, good.
Or there's any of the posters you see around town. There's a QR code. You can just open your camera up on the phone, point it at that QR code, and there's
I
a
got to
link.
learn
You can
stuff, Chuck.
you can just touch it. The link just comes up, and all you do is click it, and then you just
I know.
follow the blank.
Forrest
Fill
is
in the
like, Mom,
blanks.
get with it, would you? Kind of learn how to do stuff. I'm like, I know how to do stuff, but maybe not like that.
But you know what? It takes all
QR
kinds.
code.
That's why we still do the paper tickets.
I love
How-
it. Old school. I'm kind of old school girl.
However, for people listening, this does typically sell out every year. I don't.
So
think
that's why I was wondering. Let's
Yeah.
maybe get pre-tickets.
Yeah,
Go to the
I don't think there's-
Valley and Acres Drug.
Yeah, Valley Drug.
Valley
Company,
Drug and
Acres United.
United. Mhm.
I don't think there's ever been a year this hasn't sold out.
Okay, so
and,
get on it.
And there was one
Get
year
your
there was a
tickets.
line of people at the door when the center reached capacity.
And you had to turn them away.
Yeah, people had to get turned away. I
Oh,
think
okay.
this was before I was here, but I think it was 2019 or 2018.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Get your tickets, people.
they actually because they reached the fire safety capacity, so they had
Okay,
to
well-
close down the doors and say no more people in, and people were, a little upset, and that's why you get your tickets in advance, folks.
Right.
So yeah,
I
And
remember-
tickets have been selling really
Okay,
fast.
well, that's
so
exciting. So it's going to be a great show.
It is going to be a great show. We have singers, we have tap dancer.
Yeah, give us a little treat on what's
yeah,
going
we're going to be the judges are going to be doing a special performance.
Oh.
We have our very own Paula Randall.
Okay.
And her name is Lisa.
Okay.
And she's newer in town. She's been here about a year and a half. She came to us, said, "Hey, I have this." Her background in music, her resume is absolutely insane. This woman has sung with orchestras that have been performing around the world. She's performed
Incredible.
in New York, Chicago. She's been all over
And
the
she's
place.
one of the judges?
And she's one of our judges this
Okay,
year. We're
awesome.
very
Well-
fortunate to have her.
That's wonderful.
There was a break between performers, between people auditioning, and her and Paula just started singing one of the
Belting
songs.
it out.
And I heard her
And
voice. And
you
I'm
got
like,
chilled. Yeah.
I did. I'm like, can you guys perform during the show? So we're going to have Paula singing. We're going to have Lisa singing.
Oh, that's
Sally
fun.
McQuain's going to be playing the bass with them.
Oh, that's great.
We have Dave Bergman. He's going to be
Yes.
playing the piano
Wonderful.
with them. They're going to be doing a jazzy rendition of Summertime.
Arrun-ta-ta-ta-tita.
So it's going to be really fun. Again, we've got all kinds of singers, musicians, piano players. We've got a young man who, at 20 years of age, he's already graduated with his degree in music. He's going right now, I believe. He might be done, but he was training to be a volunteer firefighter to fight forest fires. So lots of...
So good show.
It's not just great artists, it's great people.
Great people that are,
performing.
again, back
Yeah.
to the passion.
Exactly.
Sharing their passion, it's important and so wonderful.
We've
wow.
got a couple
you got
of
a big
We've got a
show
couple of
planned.
folks back from last year rather.
Okay.
Hannah Johnson, who was
Okay.
our winner last year, she's going to be doing a performance for us at the end while the judges deliberate, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
We've had a couple mentorship things going on. Hannah, there were a couple kids dancing that they had something special. They just needed that little extra, to help get them.
Extra.
So we got Hannah working with them to help them
Let's
polish their
see.
performance.
Great.
We've got Catherine working with a young man who's a magician, again, to help him polish his performance. Some don't need polishing. They're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Really
But
looking
that's
forward
the
to it.
community. See, we live in this fantastically beautiful community where people, this is what we do.
Exactly.
This is what we do. We give
And I
out
tallied
and
up
share.
I tallied up our prize count. There are cash prizes for the winners. Our biggest prize pot ever in Chihuahua's Got Talent. We are $35 short of $1,500.
Wow.
in
That's what the
prizes.
that's the prize?
We'll be dispersing that between the
Yeah.
top three
Yeah, that's
winners.
that's quite a
So
little chunk.
It is. And thank you to our sponsors for that. So we have our spotlight sponsor is New Beam.
Okay.
They are going to be they provided our main sponsorship for the show. They're also providing the internet so we can stream this without sharing the internet with everyone else in the building. They're going to come today. I'm going to meet with them. They're setting up my very own internet source so I can stream without having to share internet and get the full bandwidth for everything and get us out online. So the show will be live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Okay, you're
through our
on it. You're
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Good.
And we also have Chihuahua Flooring,
Okay.
Chihuahua Creative District, Gino and Sharon Ludwig,
Nice.
Rich Richmond Logging, and of course our media partner is the Chihuahua Independent, who's been running ads for us and helping us with that.
So-
There's
yeah.
going to be an article coming out about it today in the
Today?
Chihuahua Independent. Yeah.
Okay.
So really, really looking forward to this show.
Wow, there's so much happening.
There is.
There's so much happening.
And a
this
huge thank you
weekend.
to Catherine Patton. She's going to be directing and stage managing the show for us tonight.
She's really
She-
incredible.
She runs a tight show.
Oh,
so-
yeah. You
so
better
it's going to be good.
stand up straight.
We love her.
Keep your focus. No, she's incredible.
She really is.
She really is.
She really is. And she's going to be moving, and we're all going to miss her
Mm.
because she's been a huge benefit to this community, especially in the theater.
Absolutely.
she
Where's she
really-
going?
I'm not sure, and I don't know if she wants me to
That's
talk about
right.
it on the air,
Okay,
so
Gina.
yeah,
Come on
yeah.
now.
But we are going to lose her.
Sorry to hear that.
But she will be off doing wonderful
On a different
adventures.
adventure.
Yeah, helping
She's on
people.
yeah.
She's going to be helping people.
Well, you
Yeah.
know that.
Really quick, we do have Wendy Butler says hi. Good morning, Wendy. And she says, I was a child inspired by Gina.
Aw, Wendy,
Yeah.
thank you, dear.
She was your...
I know Wendy.
You were her belly dancing instructor in elementary school.
And Miss
See?
Orla Colvin, and yeah, we had fun.
She also says she enjoys her volunteer work. She also runs an event called Express Fest. It's a give back fair that benefits for local nonprofits and local food banks,
Excellent.
which our local food banks need help right
oh
now.
yes,
So-
yes they do.
And good morning, Craig. Craig McQuain says good morning to Chuck and Gina.
Good morning.
And that's right. So at the Auto View, I forgot to mention during the film festival, it's going to be Craig's band playing. Craig and the Brats are going to be playing at the Chihuahua Film Festival,
Oh,
or at the
fun.
Pacific Northwest Film Festival.
at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And that is brought to you by the Vincent Fund.
Okay.
So, all right, back to the calendar here. We're getting all kinds of talking, and I love it. All right, Sunday, from 4 to 8 p.m. at Fired Up Pizza is the All Ages Blues and Brews Jam,
That's
hosted by
wonderful.
the Dinosaurs. That is a great place for a lot of musicians have come together there, and they jam.
It's great.
A lot of side projects have come from that.
Absolutely. It's wonderful.
They
Good
are-
venue, especially now it's getting warmer. The doors
Yeah.
The doors can be open.
And you can hear the music going through downtown.
Right, but also just, the fresh air coming in. And, I love to dance. It's
Exactly.
always good when there's fresh air coming.
And I do believe they're still looking for a place with Andy's now not being open anymore. They were doing the Wednesday acoustic jam, and I believe they're still looking for another place to host the acoustic jam. Craig, if you can get back on the comments there and tell us a little more about what you're looking for that, for the location for the acoustic jam. Robert Lee says, "Good morning, Chuck and Gina. River Valley Mobile Service will donate $35 to bring us to your goal." Thank you, Robert. Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, see? There is another soul giving out.
And Rob Lee, one of our great musicians here around, phenomenal guy. He's doing really well. He's had some health issues, but I'm not going to talk about that either. But I do wish you the best, Robert, and I'm so glad to saw him a couple weeks ago, and he's really recovering well and doing great. I know he's itching to get back into music.
Oh, you know it.
He was just like, I got to play. So wonderful, wonderful. The whole family, great people.
Absolutely.
All right, so again, back to the calendar. That was the All Ages Blues and Brews Jam from 4 to 7 at Fire It Up Pizza.
On Sundays, every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Yep.
You're invited to bring your acts and join the jam. And then we have, let's see, I was looking at last week. Adult Pickleball, back up the golf course on Monday. There is a Senior Center potluck Monday happening at the Chula Senior Citizen Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then story time at the library from 10:30 to 11:30.
Nice. That's so good.
It is. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but before, and we haven't really worked anything out, so it's not really a spoiler. But before Brian Tidwell moved out of the area, they were doing story readings on the radio. And I've reached out to the library to talk about, and we have multiple DJs too that also want to help.
That'd be great.
Bring back the story hour right here on the radio.
Right on the radio.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to work with them.
I
and make
still
that
love to
happen.
be read to, even as a big kid myself. It's just relaxing and just to shut your eyes and have somebody read you a story.
Exactly.
And the pictures are great too, but just in your own mind and visualizing, if it's just like over the radio, it's like a meditation in a way. You just kind of listen to the person read you a story.
Exactly.
It's so relaxing. I love to be read to.
I was in a conversation the other day it was a few weeks ago with a room full of adults talking about doing story time in the park during an event, and talking about having it up on the main stage, and people were like, well, adults, we should put that off to the side where the kids can go, because adults don't want to sit there and have someone read a story. And I'm like,
yes,
whoa,
we do.
what?
This adult,
This
but I'm
adult,
like
too.
playful, but this adult definitely, like I just expressed, it's wonderful.
And
It's wonderful.
Read me Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. I don't care.
Just
I'll recite the words along with you.
yeah, and tap your feet and do a little shimmy.
Oh yeah, and when my kids were young, I think I got as much enjoyment out of reading to them as they got out of reading.
I have the most incredible hardback children's collection of books because my Forest was definitely read too.
Oh yeah.
And I used to barter with a gentleman, a close friend who lives in Pittsburgh. He was a professor, and I don't know what school, it doesn't matter.
Get you a little closer to the mic there.
I would barter. I had my own little backpack, and I'd go and look through his collection and take 10 books. And then the next week, I'd return them, and then he'd let me borrow 10 more. This is a true story.
Yeah.
Scott Kreitzer, longtime friend. He doesn't live in Spokane anymore. Then at the end, after his kids graduated college and they moved, he gifted me the collection because I was so passionate about it.
Aw.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
I'm so blessed.
when you get a good storyteller, it gives you chills.
And these were like, is it Calcutta Awards with illustrations? And these were like high-end hardback, beautifully illustrated children's stories.
Oh yeah.
And he gifted me the whole collection because I was the one that really, and his kids loved him growing up, but they weren't as interested when they graduated college and moved on. And so I was the one. The recipient, I guess, of that collection.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So when I took over this job at the radio station, the very first thing I did, it was for the first art walk after I started here, after I took over the manager position, I did no one showed. There were like 5 people that showed up. We still had a great time.
Absolutely.
We did a children's book poetry slam where you take children's. We went to the library. We got and brought some from home. We had a whole bunch of children's books to come and pick from, or you could bring your own from home. And we did a children's story reading poetry slam style.
Now, when you say poetry slam, I've been to give us a little more on.
There's that sort of beat, where you
Okay, so
you kind of, and you could read it however you wanted. Really, it was just kind of a
you put a rhythmic a rhythmic flavor to it.
Yeah,
to
put a little rhythm in it.
Yeah, as you read it.
And there's finger snapping and the whole thing. It was a lot of fun. And I used to do that. We had a coffee shop in Anchorage, and we would have people come from all over. They would come in costumes. They would put characters on.
See, we could do that, Chuck, with
yeah.
I mean, the library too. But I mean, hey, I've got. I really have an incredible collection.
I love it. There was a guy.
I'll show you sometime.
His stage persona was the Good Reverend Dr. Love.
Ooh.
And he was over the top. He would throw stuff. He put a hole in our wall in the coffee shop reading a children's story.
Got a little overexcited.
He'd come in and wear a suit and oh man, it was a lot of fun. And we had people
That's fun. It sounds fun.
We had artists, musicians come in. There were people that would, bring us. What's that?
That would be fun. We should. Let's do it.
I mean,
let's do it, girl. That would be great. I would love to collaborate with you and do that,
yeah.
and others, and whoever else wants to.
Oh yeah, reading Dr. Seuss with a cup of espresso and your beret on with a stand-up bass in the back. Like
incredible.
Oh yeah,
I love the idea.
Like beatnik style.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We should do that again.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to do it.
I'm a go girl. When I say my word, pinky swear, we'll do it.
All right, then Wednesday, the reminder from the Chamber of Commerce newsletter items. If you're going to get your newsletter in the Truly Chamber of Commerce newsletter, get that in by noon on Wednesday. Then adult pickleball back up at the golf course from 8:30 to 11:30. Let's see.
What day was that again? On the pickleball?
Wednesday of next week.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot of going on with pickleball too.
Community, yeah, they do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At the
Okay,
golf course.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And Wednesdays are beginner days.
Okay.
So if you're
And
just
what
wanting to
time
get into
again?
it,
What time?
That is 8:30 to 11:30.
Okay.
At 843 Parr Place. It's sort of you go past the clubhouse. The courts are sort of right there on the right, I think, past the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it's Community Bingo Night at Fired Up Pizza. That is happening from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. Then we have the Truly Food Bank open Thursday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again.
Today.
Thursday morning. Next Thursday. Yeah, and today.
And today,
yep.
Because it is Thursday, I believe.
It is Thursday, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is an important one. Next Thursday, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Guess Elementary School is the Stevens County Healthcare Forum. And what this is there a group of different folks from different medical organizations. Some doctors are going to be there talking about the future of Medicaid. And Medicaid's being put in danger right now.
Indeed it is.
And I think a lot of the folks that are not Medicaid supporters that think Medicaid should go away, you hear the things thrown around about who receives Medicaid. A lot of it's not true.
Right.
There's a lot of...
So this is very informative.
It's very informative.
And tell us again, what day is that happening?
This is at the
Guess Elementary
School
next
at 405 East Lincoln next Thursday. From 6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8. Okay, I'm taking the notes.
And I've kind of joined in on some of these.
Just for my own little note taking. Yeah.
I've listened in on some of the conversations about these, and what a lot of people don't understand is the hospitals you go to are there because Medicaid makes up that difference between the people that don't have insurance, the people that have insurance, and the community. And there's a lot of hospitals that last budget shortfall they have is made up by Medicaid. And there's a lot of hospitals that can't survive without Medicaid.
Absolutely.
It's not about, people not working or people not getting jobs or whatever. The narrative is hospitals rely on Medicaid, and we're going to lose a lot of
It's incredibly
medical
important.
care.
So that would be one meeting to show up to get more educated and do some sharing on that.
And there's going to be some testimonials from some people whose lives were saved by Medicaid. So it's going to be interesting, and there's a lot of information out there that I think people don't understand about why Medicaid is so important.
Good to get clarity.
Society. Yeah. The Craig Meyer Karaoke is going to be at the Oasis from 8:30 to 11:30. Then, of course, Farmers Market on Friday and Saturday of next week is the Small Business Expo. It is the first year ever the Chamber of Commerce has done the Small Business Expo. This was a shoot-off from the Home and Garden Show. Because there were so many businesses that were not related to home and garden stuff that were there.
Now they're doing small business.
Yeah.
That's great.
And they grew too big for the Home and Garden Show. So this is sort of bifurcated off.
Excellent.
And become
Where is that going to happen?
That's going to happen at Guess Elementary School from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday the 31st.
Excellent.
And
That's
we're
a
gonna
good
be
idea,
there-
too.
We're going to be there with our sound system doing announcing the prize winners. There's going to be door prizes and stuff happening all day.
Fantastic.
All right. So with that, we got a couple. Oh, David Bergman says, good morning, Gina and Chuck. Good morning.
Morning.
And another huge thank you to Robert Lee for that. Appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and take our break.
Okay.
We're going to listen to some news. We're going to thank our sponsors, and we're going to come back, and it's going to be all Gina, all Friday Market, talking about stuff we got going on for the summer.
Here we go.
All right, so we'll be right back. You're listening to the KCHW Morning Show right here on KCHW 102.7. Don't go anywhere. Stick around.
It's 8:18.
Your KCHW Morning Show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
and by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Dell Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
The Public News Service doing newscast for May the 22nd, 2025. I'm Mike Clifford. President Trump confronted his South African counterpart at the White House Wednesday with a video Trump said supported his claim that white farmers were being persecuted in the country. That from the BBC. They report the footage played during a news conference with Cyril Ramaphosa showed thousands of crosses lining a road that Trump claimed marked burial spots for murdered white farmers. Trump said he did not know where in South Africa it was filmed, and the footage has not been verified by the BBC. They note Ramaphosa, who appeared to weigh his response carefully, disputed Trump's allegation. He said black people were far more likely to be victims of violence in South Africa than white people. And just days before the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's murder, the Trump administration announced it'll try to end federal reform efforts involving Minneapolis police.
When a handful of Minneapolis police officers were convicted on charges related to Floyd's murder, it capped off a global wave of heightened activism about confronting systemic racism. University of Minnesota sociologist Michelle Phelps last year released a book on the local push to challenge police violence. She says it's a complex topic, acknowledging the broader mood today has changed somewhat. But Phelps points to lasting impacts.
The expansion of unarmed mental and behavioral health crisis response units, which have actually developed in cities across the country.
A flurry of accountability laws surfaced around the U.S. after Floyd's murder, but some are being scaled back. Minneapolis officials say they're still committed to long-term changes, but beyond law enforcement, new data show continued disparities in Minnesota. That includes a widening home ownership gap for the state's black population. I'm Mike Moen.
Next to Montana, where mothers and would-be moms rely more on Medicaid than in other states and would be harder hit by proposed cuts to the program.
More than 30% of Montana women of childbearing age are covered by Medicaid, the 7th highest rate in the nation and about 7% higher than the national average. That's according to a new report from Georgetown University's Center for Children and Families, which also shows Montana is home to 3 of the nation's 20 most dependent counties, Glacier, Prairie, and Bighorn. The center's executive director, Joan Alker, notes all 20 counties are in states that adopted Medicaid expansion.
Rural communities tend to have lower income than metro areas. So Medicaid, as important as it is for moms and babies nationwide, is even more important in rural areas and small towns.
House Republicans have proposed cutting more than $600 billion in Medicaid to pay for Trump administration priorities, including mass deportations and tax cuts. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the proposed cuts would drop more than 8 million Americans from Medicaid benefits. I'm Kathleen Shannon.
In 2022, more than half of hospitals in rural America did not offer obstetric care. This is Public News Service. A bill in North Carolina's General Assembly would roll back carbon reduction deadlines for Duke Energy and allow the company to charge customers for projects even if they are not completed.
Senate Bill 261 removes 2030 goals for the utility to reduce carbon by 70%. It also allows Duke Energy to charge for construction works in progress. North Carolina Chapter Director of Sierra Club, Chris Herndon, says the utility could charge for non-renewable energy projects, and that other states like South Carolina have seen higher rates for projects that were never finished.
So this has the potential to be very harmful for anyone who is paying for energy in North Carolina and anyone who is breathing air in North Carolina.
South Carolina ratepayers are still paying off a $9 billion nuclear power plant that was canceled during construction. Supporters of the legislation say North Carolina is growing rapidly and must keep all energy options open. The legislation has passed in the Senate and moved to the House. I'm Eric Tegedoff reporting.
Next to Wisconsin, where a group of Pierce County residents is awaiting a response to a petition for a contested case hearing for the expansion of the Ridge Breeze Dairy to grow 4 times its size.
Local business owner Larry Brenner says his home, land, and business is about a mile below the hill the dairy sits on. He says that makes him and tributaries like the Rush River that runs next to his property especially vulnerable to things like manure runoff and accidents.
That river is where my grandpa's land flowed through. So the fact that I now have a piece of that river flowing through my property, it's very special. And boy, it's threatened.
Brenner says the expansion could result in almost 80 million gallons of untreated manure annually, potentially affecting water sources and causing increased odor issues and noise from hundreds of manure trucks. I'm Judith Ruiz Branch reporting.
Finally, as Memorial Day kicks off the summer, Hoosiers will flock to lakes, rivers, and pools, and safety should be on everyone's mind.
That includes attentive supervision, knowing CPR, using life jackets, not inflatables, and securing barriers like fences or locked doors around home pools. Ramos encourages families to assign one person to watch the water.
One that we like to mention is designating a water watcher. And this is a person almost to the level of a lifeguard who has no other duty than to watch the water and has the skills and knowledge to act if necessary.
He says the highest risk for unintentional drowning is among children between the ages of 1 and 4 and teen boys and adults. He adds safety around home pools should be treated as seriously as public water parks by planning, staying alert, and making sure everyone leaves the area together. I'm Joe O'Leary, Public News Service.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Don't forget, you can listen online too at kchw.org.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. We are back for the second half of the show, once again with myself and our new Thursday co-host, Gina. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning.
So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the farmers market and all the things happening there and what you do every summer for the kids in the market. How many years have you been doing the Friday market?
Oh, you mean for the Colonel program?
Yeah.
gosh, I don't know, maybe.
Let's get you a little closer to that, Mikey. Sorry.
Okay, 5 years. I don't remember about that. But when I had the art studio, when I had the studio, I did the market years just, promoting the things that we've done. So it's been lots of years I've done, kids activities in the park with the market related, because I believe in farmers markets so much, and I love children.
Oh yeah.
But the Colonel program, it's, I don't know, maybe 5 years. I'm not certain.
And before that, I know the Children's Art Festival. You've been there every year since pretty much the beginning of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, that's where I first met you. It was the first summer we were here. I think it was 2017, and you were doing dance at the Children's Art Festival.
Awesome. Yeah.
And or was it during? I think might have been during Chautauqua. It was one event. You were over there in the back under the kids' pavilion.
Yes.
And we were just
having
like,
a
who's
blast.
this magical woman dancing with all these kids? You had your ribbons.
Oh, yeah, know.
It was gorgeous.
That's the thing. Thank you. It is really one of my soul happy places is dancing.
Oh, yeah.
And art and kids and people that are fun like you.
Oh.
Happy, shiny.
I agree.
Happy, shiny.
But yeah, so you're going to be there this Friday.
I am.
It's your first Friday here for the season.
Yes, because there's no school. That's one of the draw also. And then once we start, we just keep on rolling. But it's a Colonel program, and it's sponsored by the Catholic Charities. We also have STCU as a sponsor, Avista, I believe. And so it's an educational program, and I really honor it very much. So the kids have an activity, and they have a recipe card. And what I've done in my world is because I had the art center for so many years, I donate supplies and I put an art twist to it.
Yeah.
Because the kids stick around, Chuila. It's not like, because we have such a beautiful park, the creek, the vendors' kids. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, in bigger cities, they stay for like 10, 15 minutes, right? And they go.
Right.
What happens with our market is I like to involve like movement as well, and art and education for sure. And they get these Colonel voucher bucks, they call them. So when the kids do the project, I don't force them to do it if they usually want to.
Yeah.
And they get $2. It's a coupon, and they get to spend it on fresh food. And I always say, get something delicious and nutritious. And they have a little giggle, and off they go. And what's fun was with families that have like quite a few kids, which we have several families with quite a few kids.
Yeah,
you put all those $2 together, and they're so excited. You get like a big old bag of beautiful peaches or whatever,
Yeah.
And some kids, they keep their own $2, and sometimes they save them, and they're like all proud. Oh, I've got 6 now, so I've got $12 or whatever. Some kids save it like that. It's like it's cute. Every kid does their own thing, but it's a fun program. And
it is.
So this week we're going to be there, which is tomorrow already.
It is.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Time
Time is, I know, speeding up.
Flying by.
Yep, it's true. It's not our imagination, but we love imaginations. But it's going faster, as we know.
So what are you going to be doing tomorrow specifically?
So tomorrow, when we did the Earth Day Fair, and Gail had this is kind of fun, extra kits that Gail Schrappe, she's been using for 35 years. And they're, you use a tin can for the drainage, like a cat food can with a screen. And you blend up the paper, so it's actually repurposed. Yes. You tear up construction paper and you put it through a blender. It makes it pulped. And so you create like these little earths, and it's super fun. It's all repurposed stuff. Nice. And so, yes. And as far as the other activity, I'm going to layer that in because might as well use it up, because we had that wonderful Earth Day celebration, and so that was some extra stuff.
Right.
And then I'm not sure what I'm gonna look through my choices as far as like what other activity we'll layer in there, and the education part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're doing stuff all summer long.
All summer long.
There are the annual events that
Correct.
are huge. You run the whole.
Well, I mean,
shebang for
a
the
lot
zucchini
of people volunteer for those bigger ones, but I'm usually obviously there helping, with whatever is needed. And yes, it's fun. I love it.
And like you say, because I'm there every Friday.
Yes, you are.
At the market. And I see the kids there. They show up. They show up with their parents, and they run over to you and whoever's over there helping you in the corner. And like you said, they stay there.
We do have a good time.
They'll wander off. They'll get something to eat, or
right.
they'll.
And I have the kids help me too. Like I really believe in hands-on. Like when the kids will show up and say, "Are you open up? Yeah, are you open?" I said, "Not yet, but here's a little job for you. You could help me with this,
I love it.
And then give them something to feel involved with. It's the experience.
Oh, yeah.
That's super important. And I'm always happy too if I'm at an event or something. I can offer help as well. And more hands are good to have, as they say.
I feel like a lot of times, especially for kids, helping with something makes what comes out of it more valuable to them.
Absolutely.
When they have a more it's showing up and do a thing is fun, but when they actually get invested in it and they help other people do it.
Absolutely.
That's to me when the value really just doubles, triples. You really can't put a number on it.
Exactly. And one of the big philosophies I have about creativity and learning is parents need to get out of the way a little bit sometimes, because we have to remember as we get, children have their own interpretations. Like I'll say, well, this is an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like to show examples very often. I used to do this on purpose. I would say, this is an idea, right? And here's what I create. These are the materials. Here's you go. You know, sometimes like example, the regatta. Let's just say, the parents. I say, build your own boat, because what happens sometimes they want to, I don't know, micromanage, if that's a crazy word.
Yeah.
I just keep saying, let them do their thing. Who cares if you win? They want to use their imaginations, because we have, all these materials that are natural, that would not hurt the water if they get lost or whatever. And so just let's allow our youth to just be expressions. Their inner self, their inner soul can express. And what better way through the arts,
Exactly. And a lot of times parents around when kids are around their parents, they act differently. They're sort of keep their inhibitions, close to their close to their chest. Is that the right term?
Sometimes it's, and not always, because we have such lovely families here. And I'm just saying sometimes we have to remember that freedom of expression is incredibly important.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
So the zucchini regatta, that's happening later. You mentioned.
There's all kinds of ones. I don't know the dates right off the top of my head.
I don't either,
but there's apple pie eating contest. That's one of the events over the summer. And then the cherry splat.
Yes.
Where you have a bullseye and you use cherries and slingshots.
We've already talked about that. They're going to have
pumpkin bowling is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's going to be some different rules this year to the cherry splat. You can bring your own slingshot this year to the cherry
I think
splat.
that is a brilliant idea, because sometimes, everyone's different. Like younger kids, you can't have a standard. Bring your own. I love it, because then you can practice a little and also be able to feel the strength and the tension depending on your strength. Yeah, that's brilliant. I think that's a real good idea.
And last year they had, your typical standard, the Y. I call it the Dennis the Menace slingshot. You put in the back pocket.
It was difficult for some kids because it was taunt. It was very taunt, and so that was hard for them to pull back. So I think it's really good to have them bring their own.
It was brand new, I think. So the rubber was
That's
really
right.
stiff.
That's probably what it was. It was new.
Yeah, it was. I think it was made by a vendor at the market, but it was
they're beautiful. I mean, it was really handcrafted. It was wonderful, but you got to have one that's had a little use, and then you can really hit the bullseye.
Or especially for the kids, the ones that have the wrist rockets that have the wrist support, so they don't pull their wrist back.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't need this one. I could be a little bit starting some, but remember when we used to do the spitting the pit?
Oh yeah.
That might be just a little over the top, Gina. So anyhow,
it was always fun though.
It's fun. I remember
doing those as a kid, or the watermelon seed spitting contest.
Oh gosh, I know. I know it's a little maybe inappropriate, but we're going to be there, and it's going to be a beautiful day, I think.
It is. It is. I'm really looking forward to it, and I have a title to defend this year at the apple pie eating contest.
What?
I won last year.
You were the winner?
I was the winner of the apple pie eating contest last year.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. I was eating my pie and I looked up and I raised my hand and no one else's hand was raised. I'm like, what?
What? I won, and the bread box donates the pies for that.
They're so good.
So good.
So delicious.
Yeah. So I was going to ask too to remind everyone, parents that are listening, encourage your kids this summer to volunteer, and you can find me through the radio station with Chuck. I would really appreciate just even if it's an hour, and if they want to just come over to the Colonel program and lend a hand. Also, I know Ryan could use some help with labor, like setting up the booths. It's a lot. I don't know what time he arrives there, but I would assume, like 9ish, 8:30, something like that. But yeah, volunteers are needed, not just for the art program, but to help with the market setup and tear down.
Yeah.
And you don't have to stay the whole time, but if you wanted to be a volunteer at any point or encourage your especially teenage, men and young women and strong, that want to lift some things and bring the booths and set them up. And, there's need for that for sure. And then if younger kids or anybody wants to, just kind of have some fun and volunteer at the kids area, I'll give them a little job in a fun way. And they'll learn how to, give back to the community.
Nice.
It's important.
Nice. Well, and Brian has, for the life of me, I can't remember the young man's name. Wonderful guy.
Yes.
He's been helping the last couple of years.
For years.
Sort of Ryan's right hand guy working
definitely.
there. Just amazing help.
He's a solo. He's a dedicated young person, and I'm thinking Sean. I'm not exactly sure.
I think that's
Peyton
right.
Or Sean.
Yeah.
But so anyone who wants to lend a hand, show up there tomorrow and lend a hand. Set up, tear down. It goes from, it starts at 11, right? It goes to 3:30, but people arrive there early, of course, to set their booths up and then tear down at 3:30ish.
Well, and I want to take a minute to just talk about farmers markets in general. You said you're a huge supporter of farmers markets.
Yes.
And I am too. I think there's
the Greenwood Institute. I talked to you. We started the very first one. We handmade the booths from the Eugene Farmers Market prototype. John Cora gave me from the airport a huge, not me, but the center, huge burlap roll that I am not even exaggerating. It was gymongous. It was like 6 feet tall. And I don't know how long around. And we hand sewed the Pepin family, the Pullens, all these people. We built them. Yeah. And I was blessed to have the lot that I have, which you need to see. We had them. We could keep them up all, because I had the art center. We could keep them up all week. And it was the very, very first one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was in 90. I can't remember. 2000, maybe 95 or 6. I don't know the year.
Yeah.
I can't keep track of that stuff. I love farmers markets, and it's so important to eat local and support your local farmers and crafters, and it just makes a huge difference. And what was your take on it?
Well,
Why do you love them?
I think on a bigger scale, having these local farmers markets and all the different communities, like you said, it promotes local farms, local businesses.
Absolutely.
And it's a good way to sort of get away from this massive, chemical-based.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge agricultural, industrial complex. And a lot of the stuff you get
are shipped for miles
They
away.
sit in warehouses. They're full of preservatives. They get sprayed with who knows what. You wash it off, but that stuff
plus,
gets into
the face of your farmer.
Exactly.
That's kind of fun, right? You talk to them about the varieties of things, like I was mentioning about Paul. He used to come a lot. He's the garlic man, but he does Colville, I believe, now only because it's more convenient. And he just to learn about all the varieties of food and what things that, and then it's just fascinating to me, and it takes a lot of labor of love to grow food and
it does.
And build crafts and make your homemade salves or whatever happens with your hands, with your hands, and put your soul into what you do. And it's great. And the market has a bunch of food vendors that are really amazing also.
Oh, yeah.
You can have lunch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
amazing food vendors.
So you can speak about those a little bit that come into your mind if we know, but there's a variety of foods now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've got one of our DJs who's going to be starting soon. He's got a new shrimp booth there this year.
Oh.
Yeah, Chris. I had his shrimp. It was really good.
Yum.
And then, we've got the usual, the Thai food place.
Yes.
Every
Nina.
week. Yeah, Nina and Joe.
They're lovely people. Everyone's so happy.
They usually have a line that starts in front of their booth.
Yeah.
It goes out to the street. And then when the line dies, when there's nobody in line, they're out of food.
Right. So when we do our Thursday shows tomorrow, I'll get a little information from. That'll be my job. I'll take it on, and I'll just meet the different vendors and say that, hey, next Thursday we'll give a little bit more details about what we that have to offer, and that would be great. I think that'd be a really good thing both of us are going to be there, so we can do a little better PR as far as who's going to be there.
And last week, for the life of me, I'm terrible with names.
It's okay, just go with it.
She's from Belize. She has the Belize food.
Mm-hmm.
She had the chicken and rice, and I had some last week. It was wonderful,
super yummy. Yeah,
I tried to get it the week before, but she also sold out. I think most of our food vendors, they've been pretty much selling out across the board every week, which is amazing.
Yes,
You know?
and I think the market, I believe, just like spring market would have like starts, I believe, and hopefully some greens and microgreens and flour. I don't know. I'm excited for tomorrow because it'll be my first one.
Yeah, I think Ryan said there is a booth there this year that are doing all microgreens.
Mm-hmm. I think it's, I believe it's Michelle, Jack's wife, might be Michelle because with the barbecue, is it 1825? I always forget the numbers, how to say it, but in the general store, Jack and Michelle. I think Michelle's the microgreen. I know she was last year.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
I just call it good barbecue. I don't know what the number is.
I know it's delicious.
It's
at
really
the general store. Yeah, if you haven't tried it, try it. It's super good.
Yeah. So the Friday market. It's again going back to sort of it creates community.
Absolutely,
it creates a sense of community. Whether you're in Colville, Deer Park, they all have
them.
Markets.
They do, and I haven't explored the other ones because I'm here I am in the Chihuahua world. But sometimes it's just amazing. I know they have one in Newport, they have one in Clayton, they have one. It's wonderful everywhere, but right here in Chihuahua on the park, it's such a beautiful setting. People are so, so friendly, and I just love our community.
You know what I love? I love when you see a kid go over and grab a peach or an apple or something, from one of the booths,
and it drips down their face,
and they get all dirty and muddy.
Yeah.
And then they're playing, and then they go jump in the creek on a hot day.
Totally love it.
The parents are like, "Oh, you're filthy! Go get in the creek, kid!" And then they're splashing around with the other kids in the creek.
So magical, really.
It really is, and it kind of,
and the trees and just the beauty. We have beautiful.
We do have this community
and we have the lead stallion in the park,
do.
And a lot of people don't realize that David and I actually traveled before the sculpture was even put in on the hill. This is something that it's hard to get that knowledge out there, but that is the lead stallion prototype. We traveled all over. We went to Champsdebrion Winery before the gorge was even the gorge. It was a little winery. So that's an honor to have that stallion in our park.
It really is.
Of course, Govardere being, his amazing magical self is floating around saying, "Yeehaw!" up in the spirit world still. And so that traveled. That was the original prototype way before the sculpture even was on the hill. A concept. We promoted it, and then of course the print. The beautiful watercolor print. But so that's just amazing, and I just love. Tell a little bit more about the new corner. What I know that the swings from the ski hill. They're around town.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool. I see people. You know what I'm talking about? Right in the corner there. That's awesome. I'm not sure how that came about, but I see people on those swings.
Right. I would like to find out more information about that too.
Because the swings are around all over.
They are.
Yeah, and there's even the back way to the back behind the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
There's one there.
Yeah, it's
with.
It's in the park where Shakespeare is
yes,
going to be performed later. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that setting.
Yeah,
I loved that being outside like that. Beautiful.
And what's cool about that one is they can actually be taken down because when there's plays back there, sometimes the stage will be set up in different directions. That can actually be taken down and turned in different directions.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah,
that was wonderful. So we are so blessed to live in this incredibly creative, vivacious, caring community. Yes, we really are.
Yeah, I really feel like. It's kind of unique. It really is.
A lot of people, special. It's really special.
I've been in a lot of places, and you can even use the word weird at times, but it's like good weird.
Yeah,
it's good weird. It's my
are you
kind
kidding?
Of weird.
Eclectic. I say normal is a setting on a dryer. I say to my friends when I exit stage left, if I have a celebration or somebody does.
Exit stage left even.
Even that is one of my favorites. But no, it is true. It's their eccentric. That's the term. Eccentric, unique, eclectic, whatever. And also just down home goodness. The nature of people in our community is incredible.
It is. To kind of honor a friend what we recently lost, we're talking about the space back there in the back behind the theater. yesterday was our good friend Sherry Freeman's birthday.
Oh,
and
adored her.
I was going to say something about it when I was doing my announcements, but I really kind of had a hard time with it, so I just said something really quick. But one of the most amazing experiences I've ever seen was her living sort of wake that she had in the back. She was there. She was on a throne. She was smiling. There wasn't a tear shed for the day.
Right.
And
Incredible.
And what a cool. The whole community was there. This cool, amazing experience to sort of say goodbye.
That's
to,
the way.
to Sherry to her face.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I've had 2 experiences also in that regard. One with Julie Clyott. It was a beautiful ceremony. And then Harry Riverbottom also.
Yeah.
And both of those were living wakes, I guess they call those.
Yep.
And it was so powerful. Yeah, very, very powerful.
And that's the way I want to do it.
I think me too.
Yeah. So, okay, really quick here. We got a couple more messages here.
Yes.
I could keep going about that forever. Then I'll start crying on the air.
Well,
We
it's
don't
all
need
right.
that.
You know, I do mermaids. I tell people release. It's a good thing.
Christy Carpenter says, great way to start the day. Love both of you guys. Love you too, Christy. And then Debbie Barbie, she says, Sean and Ryan get there at 7-ish.
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 Okay, Sean, I was right. Sean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay, Debbie. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. And he's a great guy.
Oh, dedicated.
Yeah,
and
really
so
great.
devoted. And Debbie Barbie also. She does all the, the marketing type advertising, like the flyers, and she's
does.
super over the years. Absolutely.
I love Deb. Yeah, she's
she
great.
is great.
And, I don't want to get too sad again, but I just want to give a shout out to our good friend that we found out we lost over the weekend. Katura. She was a young lady in town. She was a disabled young girl. Well, it turns out she's 38. Not young, but young in spirit.
Aw.
And she was involved in the theater. She was always at the market.
Okay.
I think Debbie posted a wonderful picture of
So
her.
she passed.
She passed over the weekend. She had cancer.
Oh, okay.
Posted a picture of her at the pie eating contest last year, all covered in pie with a big smile on her face. We miss you, Katura.
Yes.
She was our Zuzu last year for the It's a Wonderful Life play that we did on the radio.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. She was great.
Oh.
It was fun to have her around. So
Yeah.
we miss you, Katura. All right. With that said, now we're getting all emotional.
So, what else are you announcing? I was wondering about. I wanted to mention about the art in the schools.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, after you finish your. Is there other comments?
No, we're good. We're good there.
Okay.
I just wanted to. I kind of wanted to point on that and
Absolutely
not get too down, but
no, but we need to honor the ones that the transitioning. There's so many, but this is Katura.
A bunch of us were talking about her yesterday. It was kind of on our heart. And
Yeah.
she was weighing heavy on our hearts yesterday because she was such a special girl. So yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the art in the school program.
That's wonderful.
I know
that
the Arts Guild is doing
we're,
a wonderful job
You're
with
honoring
that.
her because I was not aware because how could I? It just happened,
Yeah.
right? Like so that's
Yeah.
And those folks who didn't realize,
A lot of people see her walking around town. She's very quiet, very shy.
Mhm.
Then she get in the theater around
and,
all the other
and isn't that something?
and open up. Yeah,
Isn't that
Yeah, it was
incredible
amazing. It was magic.
about theater? A lot of times you find that to be
Yeah.
true.
Oh, absolutely.
People have
Yeah.
that. You just they're a whole different persona, come to life.
Yeah, I've seen that. There was we had our first rehearsals this week for the new Shakespeare play. I'm choking on my coffee. It's going to be The Tempest. It's going to be.
Oh, I
performing
heard
in
about.
July, yeah.
I heard, and it's going to be that same outdoor seat. I loved that being outside along the creek. I think it was wonderful. Shakespeare.
It's a
in the
beautiful
park.
location for it. Yeah.
I mean, not in the park, but you know what I mean. Just honoring that outdoor venue.
And you were talking about the kids. There's a bunch of kids in there.
Are they gonna?
Yeah, there's a lot of kids in the cast, and they're doing amazing, doing the voices. And
Oh, that's great.
we were laughing.
When is that possibly going to be performed? Like, is it going to be like summer, probably end of summer?
It's the end. I think it's the last weekend in July.
Okay.
Or it's the week after.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, it's a week after Summerfest.
Okay.
So it's that week after
That's great.
Summerfest.
That's really great.
I don't have the date in my head.
No, I know, but just general where people can think,
Yeah.
end of July, possibly.
Yeah, and it's going to be free.
Okay.
Free show in the back behind the theater.
Yeah.
They are looking for sponsors for that as well.
Of
so
course.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's great. I loved it. I really enjoyed being in that location.
And we, after our first full read through last night, we were in pain by the end of it from laughing so hard. Because it's The Tempest. It's
Laughter,
a
good
comedy.
medicine. Laughter's the best medicine.
It is, and it's a play. It's The Tempest set in modern times in Seattle, and there's going to be Native American music. They're going to be set to drumming, so that's going to be the background
great.
for it. There's going to be drummers and singers from the tribe, from the Spokane tribe, that are going to be performing.
So incredible.
And the elementals are going to be involved with the music and the drums and sort of that Native American spirit.
That is incredible.
It's a really cool twist on it.
I love that. Beautiful. I love Native Americans and then their music and the soul and the drum.
You know, the hardest part about reading Shakespeare in an American accent is not reading it in a British accent. It's really hard. All right, so go ahead and let's talk about art in the school.
Well, speaking of drumming, right? It's a segue. Interesting. We recently, there's an art in the school program that the Chewelah Arts Guild sponsors, and their biggest fundraiser is the when they do the Taste of Chewelah, right? So it's bringing in different artisans into the schools. And my most recent experience was at Summit Valley, and they're the Heartbeat drummers, the ladies that drum on the corner when they do the Taste of Chewelah. Those gals, they were there, and they had a new addition to their group, a didgeridoo player.
Nice.
And I brought my percussion instruments as well, so the kids got to be educated. And then I was also one of the stations, we'll call it stations, with my hand, ribbons from my drumsticks repurposed, and I had lots of different dance and movement, poise swings that I make, and hoops, and it was just a movement, lots of movement. And then Gail Schrappe and Suzanne Greep, they had a poetry, one mandala that was made out on the field of natural materials, which was incredible.
Nice.
And then Suzanne was doing poetry with the kids. They did some rocks, and they made this big mandala. So the kids got to rotate. So it was all day long.
Oh, nice.
And it was fun. That's where I met the musician.
Yeah.
That's going to be doing your thing. So, So then, let's see. It is sponsored by the Chewelah Arts Guild. And so far this year, this is the second year that they've hosted this as far as the art in schools. And they've gone to Valley, Padilla, Chewelah, Quartzsite, Summit Valley, and Riverwood. And so I'm going to be going to Valley on the 9th with Marcy Bravo.
Oh, I love Marcy.
I do too. And myself and Gail and Suzanne. And then we're going to be doing similar with the kids all day. So it's basically an all-day, fun, creative day for the kids.
Nice.
And so it's a good program. So we're just branching out so far.
And for reference, Marcy Bravo, if you go downtown, her artwork with the underwater display.
Is that still up?
Last time I checked, it was.
I hope so, because it's incredible. I saw her first, when I first came on, I know that's her little jellyfish.
Yes.
Marcy and I went through yoga training together. Before she even moved to this area, I met her in Spokane. She was my fave out of 29. There, that is. I knew right when I came in, it was the Bravo.
She gave you one of her jellyfish.
I have one too. She gifted me when we got to know each other. Before she moved to the area, I have a mobile, and it's just so. She was great. She was pregnant, and I belly casted her belly with cast. It was special. So yeah. Anyhow, there's all kinds of. They've done drawing class, poetry, dance, masks, weaving, recycled paper, and a lot of different things so far this year in the schools. So they visited 6 schools, and I just love doing it. It's one of the things that brings me great joy. Be in joy, and it's joyful for me, for sure. And the kids love it.
So we had this idea to do it was when Jason Perrins, actually the school superintendent, was on the air. Scott had already been talking about he's busy doing his thing in Maine, and he's got rental cabins that he has to get ready for the weekend. He's like, it's really hard for me to do the morning show on Thursdays because I'm really getting busy for the weekend. And then shortly after, Jason's like, we'd really love for the schools to get involved. And if you really want, we talked about doing more stuff with the kids on the air. Getting the kids. And Scott had programs in the past where he'd have like the foreign exchange kids on. He'd do stuff for the schools, and we wanted to bring that back. And a conversation with Scott about bringing that back. I'm like, okay, well, and I'd kind of talked to a few other people about hosting Thursday mornings, but nothing really stuck. And then the kid idea came up about doing stuff for the kids on Thursdays. And you were on for
Earth Day, the Earth Day, yes.
And it was like, who better in Chewelah to come on and talk about what's happening with the kids in town?
Thank you. What an honor. Yes, it's really where my heart space is.
It is.
and we talked about the inspiration. Can I go into that?
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
So one of the things that Chuck and I talked about as to what would be inspiring for me, and I guess in these crazy times, and again, I'm not gonna. We all know these are some hard. I don't want to put the term what it is. It's challenging.
It is.
We're going through a challenging, right?
We are.
But what I believe is important is to, you could put your finger on your nose. Sometimes you can't always influence the entire world. Just start within your self-love. Start with self-care. Take some time to go into nature.
Yep.
I do this. I take my shoes off. I'm barefoot. It's just simple stuff. Just be in gratitude for your surroundings, the people in your life that you love, the little small blessings that we have. And if you start your day with gratitude, it really helps a great deal. So I do that.
Yeah.
And just be in joy. Find the little things that bring you joy. We already know the challenges. We already know, things that trigger us or ruffle our feathers or get us a little, whatever.
Yeah.
And I know things are serious. Okay. I'm not like an ostrich,
Oh, yeah.
but I try and influence the people around my beautiful circle. And then I send out as much positive about people, their awareness, like if we believe it's possible, you see, that's the quantum physics, right? Leap it, believe it.
Yep.
I know it's hard to, at times with everything going on, do your part, be kind.
Exactly.
Walk your talk, be kind. It's so simple. Kindness goes a long ways.
It does.
And I believe that, love is the answer. And I know that sounds so whatever, woo woo. Okay. But people know, I really do believe it's a real belief. And there's days, we all have days, we all have days that we just can get a little bit, self-doubt or, talk to ourselves in a self-doubt. That needs to be, we have to catch ourselves when we judge people, project, and I work on it too, but just give yourself positive self-talk. Give yourself some inspiration and look around and take some time to be in nature and be with your friends and have fun and laugh. Just be silly sometimes. It's so good for the soul.
Being silly is the best.
It's the best.
It really is.
And put on music and dance around when you cook fresh food and chop your and just take care of yourself. Do something good for yourself.
And
it reflects. It reflects.
Thing, when you're silly and someone else joins in and
is
silly
gosh.
with you.
Oh my gosh. Honestly.
How many videos? There's a bunch of really
watch funny things too. Like listen to funny things. Be around funny. I'm not funny as far as witty. I think my character could be a little fun, fun, but I like funny, witty people that make me laugh, and it's wonderful medicine. Yeah.
I love. There's a lot of videos out there, and you can search them on YouTube. You'll be at a concert or something, and everyone's sitting out on the grass, and there'll be that one person that stands up and just starts moving. Just half the people look at him like, "What is this goofball doing?"
Oh,
half the people are like, "Oh man, I wish I could do that." And then someone else will get up, and I've seen some of them. There's a couple videos of people have actually done it as an experiment to see.
Yeah, just kind of.
They'll have a couple plants get started, and
then it just
time,
starts to go.
It's a crowd full of people at the end, and there are people that at first look at them and like, oh gosh, those people are being really weird. That by the end of it, they're in there doing it too.
And I can't tell you how many times that I know when in fact I can be the first one out and moving, and I don't. It's just what my body wants to do when I hear music. It's an innate thing. And it does. It's what's contagious.
Yep.
Isn't that what we say? And like laughter.
It
like
is.
sometimes you can just have a laugh off. We've done this. I mean, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Go there. Oh, we would just laugh and just start laughing. And then just on purpose. Just have like a laugh fest.
And then it
just
turns
start
into real
laughing.
laughter.
Yeah. And like in a small group.
Yeah.
It works. And you just start cracking up, And I don't know. It's fun. I need to do that soon. I'm going to do a laugh off.
I love that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all
human.
We're all human. I always say we're on a tiny infinitesimal speck of dust.
We are a speck
hurling through space at 67,000 miles an hour.
Right.
We're all in the same boat. We're all in this together. At the end of the day, through these hard times,
yes,
we're still going to be here at the end of this. We're still going to be neighbors. We're still going to have to get along with each other.
Exactly.
And we have a lot more in common.
We have more in common than we have not. That's the human condition. If people, regardless of what political side you're on and all this, it does break my heart, as all of us, is what we're experiencing. Okay, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But believe it's possible that humans have more of the like needs than we are opposite. I believe that.
Yep. I agree.
Soul shine. Let your soul shine.
And with that said, we are out of time today,
okay, what a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Gina. We're going to look forward to next week.
Yes.
We're gonna keep building this, and it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And it's so much happening this weekend.
There is.
I took notes. Weekend. I'm excited tonight and all that's happening, the quilt, everything.
I know.
Tomorrow we're going to be at the market, like we said, and then we'll take a responsibility of getting more. Like next week, we'll promote the vendors and get a little bit more information as to what to say about all that as well.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get some guests on and talk about some stuff.
Yeah, get those young people volunteering.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Young and old,
all ages, all ages.
Yes, indeed.
It's fun to see
something.
It's fun to bring your kids and do volunteer stuff with your kids.
Exactly,
really
it's so good.
All right, Carrie says thank you. And with that, we are, again, I said, out of time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Gina, for
I had
coming
fun.
in today.
Fun is what we need more of.
We do. All the time.
All the time.
You can stay tuned right here tonight on KCHW from 6 to 8 p.m. for Out of the Woods. 8 to 9 p.m. is Celt in a Twist with some amazing Celtic music.
Ooh, I love Celtic.
Yeah, right?
I do.
Then 9 to 11, one of my favorite shows, Acoustic Cafe.
Ooh.
They take popular bands and bring them down to an acoustic level.
So nice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a soothing soul
there, too. It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And tune in tomorrow morning to the KCHW Morning Show. It'll be myself and Craig McQuain. And we have our very special guest on, and a good friend of ours, Will Lee, is going to be joining us tomorrow.
Excellent.
Will is a super fun guy to have.
Yes, indeed.
Great performer.
Craig is
They're
great.
going to be performing tonight as well.
I know. I'm so excited
at the
about.
Autoview Drive-In.
I'm so excited. I didn't even know. See, I have a little bit of a. We don't know. That's why we have the radio station, right? I learned so much
I'm glad
today.
you're in our bubble now.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
All right, everybody. That does it for us. Thank you so much. We're getting out of here.
Fun.
Say goodbye, Gina.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody have a great one. And don't forget, tickets on sale right now for Chwila's Got Talent. Go online to kchw.org, our KCHW Radio Facebook page, Valley Drug, Acres United. Scan the QR code. I'm going to be at the Friday market. Or tickets at the door.
Yeah, but don't wait for the door, I guess.
Thank you, everybody.
It's 9:04.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by donation